Yes, guys. Welcome back to Luke Talks Life. I'm currently standing outside at exactly 1:15 a.m. for a few reasons. One, I want to actually film at night, outdoors. Two, I want some fresh air. And three, the topic. Maybe asking, what is today's life video about? Well, I thought people go through mental health struggles, and I'm one of them. So why not do a whole video based on the struggles of life mentally, whether that be depression, whether you deal with trauma attacks, whether you deal with all that. Just know I'm not in a position where I can give you little advice, but I can tell you how I experience it, what my experience is, and I will leave some support lines down in the description if you need help, if you want help. There is support lines out there, obviously depending on where you're from, but I'm going to leave some Jersey/UK ones specifically. There are some good online therapists, which their mind do cost you money, but I feel like it's still good to reach out, get help, and yeah. Now, depression, what does it feel like, you may be asking? Well, to me, depression feels like you feel pointless, you feel like a failure, you kind of give up on life. And I did actually reflect on this on the last video I did. But yeah, it kind of feels like you're just all alone. Struggles, whether that be with family issues or friendship problems, or even just getting abused, and you kind of just been fed up, crying all the time, wanting to hurt yourself, whether that be with a knife or whether you want to end yourself. Not saying do it, of course, don't do it, because there's always a reason for you to live and to not give up. For example, yes, I still go through depression, and I'm not going to vent on video, but I still believe that I can do something with my life, and I think that should be everyone's mindset. I know it might be hard for some, depending on the overall aspects and the overall status of life you're living in right now, whether that be family problems like arguing or whatever. And because it's getting a bit cold, I'm just going to take you inside. But as I was saying, I understand for some that might not be easy. Whether that be parents arguing, if you know what I mean, and other topics like parents dying recently, which you all experience one way or another. And I think the one way you can kind of limit this personally is having some light. Because the one thing what will trigger any sort of emotion, usually at least for me, is darkness. And that's because it's dark, there's no light, there's no real sense of brightness. So there's a high chance of you going into this doom and gloom period of crying, of having bad thoughts, or turning on sad music because you don't know what else to do, or walking down to the kitchen, feeling a sense of giving up or worthlessness. That's how it really feels for me, and I've dealt with it a lot, like I said, and I still deal with it, right? And I understand it's hard, but how can you and look, I know I said I wasn't really in a position to be giving advice, but based on my personal struggles, how can you deal with it yourself without doing any sort of self-harm to yourself? Talk to friends or family, and family even. Right, I have some really supportive friends around me, whether that be online, real life, whatever. Most of them at least, should be there for you to talk to. If, let's say, there are family members who aren't part of the family arguing problem, like, for example, usually dad, wife, dad, mum, then you can talk to them as well. There's also support lines, like I said, what I will leave down below. But yeah, first step in my opinion is talking to someone. If you have no one to talk to, what I usually do is that I do vent on a document. I type it all out on a page to get it off my chest. I use Canva for a few reasons. For example, I can make it look nice, and in my opinion, Canva is just easier for me to use. But you can use Google Doc. But if you want to make it look nice, then use something like Canva. But yeah, that's what I do. I usually just vent on a Canva page or talk to friends. And especially if you're the type of guy or girl, depending on gender of course, who doesn't feel comfortable venting to family members. And that is me. I don't feel comfortable talking to family members, and I also do not feel comfortable talking to some support lines. I know that I said that I'll be leaving support lines down below, which I will. But personally, I feel like I'm scared on what they'll do with the information I give them. For example, if you vent to someone, like a therapist, what are they going to do with that information? You are not 100% sure. You know that, okay, if you mention self-harm, whatever, then it will get probably passed on to the police, because that's how it works. But, or like a even further support line, or, mental health clinic. But if it's just you venting about struggles and what's really upsetting you, then what are they going to do with that information? Where do they put it? Because they clearly write it down. Who do they share it with? And me personally, I'm like, how can you trust them? Obviously, different people trust different people. For example, you might trust your therapists. Others might not, like me. Others might trust family members. Some might not feel comfortable. Some might feel comfortable talking to friends. Some people might not, because they're obviously not related, and friendships can break up pretty easily. Some might find it easier to type writing on a document. Some might not. But there are people out there who love you, who want the best for you, who support you. Heck, even talk to your date or your girlfriend, boyfriend. Since if they're really supportive and caring, then they would be there for you when you're down. And, I fortunately have the pleasure of having a really nice day, a really nice boyfriend/girlfriend. Not gonna do any LGBTQ reviews on a depressing type video, but even they are there for you. And look, people do care about you, and obviously you might have the thinking during the depression moments or the trauma attacks, like, why does no one love me? Why did, for example, X leave me? or this person leave me. Yeah, sure, you might have that feeling, but there are still people there who want the best for you, who love you, who care about you a lot. And if you are still here, then I'm proud, okay? I'm proud that you are managing to get through these tough moments. And if you did, for whatever reason, want someone to vent to, I'll leave I'm going to do Instagram down below, or Discord, either one works depending on what you have. And you can hit me up, or you can send me an email, but don't do email, please. I hate really doing emails, but that will be an option. So if you did want to vent someone and you really have no one at the time of you watching this, and you feel a bit down mentally, contacts will be down below. I'm a good listener, and yeah, I'm a really supportive individual myself, I feel like. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, like and subscribe, turn on post notifications if you do enjoy this sort of content. Expect a lot more videos out over the next few days. It will be daily uploads until I run out of content, and then I'll need to take a few days off to then think about what to upload. But down below, like I said, there will be 2 or 3 support lines. I'm not going to do too many. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you a bit. I'm not expecting this to be life-changing advice, but it should be something. But yeah, like, subscribe, like I said, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video, and peace.